you guys are ready. It should be going now.
We're good? Hey, it's Stampin with Lisa Marie.
And me.
And Chuck's going to show you how to make a really cute card tonight.
Yes, we're going to show you a card that should have, hopefully you saw in the initial of the video when it started.
What stamp set are you using?
It is called the...
Night in Bethlehem.
Well, it's Night in Bethlehem stamp set, but really the focus of this card is really the Bethlehem edgelets. That's really the focus of this card. But we do use the Night of Bethlehem stamp set and the Star of Light also. So,
All right, cool.
all right. And then Lisa Marie's going to stick around, but I'm going to be doing most of the work tonight. So,
He's got to earn his keep.
these are the two stamp sets. And then here is the thinlits. Is the thinlits in there?
Here, go like this. Here, right here.
The
There you go.
magnifying glass.
Yeah, but
Go ahead, just go ahead and do your thing.
Anyway, so there's the edgelets. And put that over there. And then here's the two stamp sets. All right, with that out of the way, I'm going to let you know that we've got a couple pieces of paper. I'm using the
Do you wanna know
light
what
tan,
that is? Crumb cake.
which is called crumb cake. And I'm using this light blue because I like blue. And this color was actually called...
Tempting turquoise. I wrote it down on a note.
Oh,
for
tempting
you.
turquoise. There you go. And then we're going to be using this pretty champagne paper
Champagne foil.
foil for the accents. So this piece of paper is 5.5 by 8.5. So that's 8.5 long, 5.5 wide. And then the layer that we're going to be building everything on is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And then when we're done, we cut out a piece of champagne paper that we're going to put the thinlits on. And that piece of paper is 4.5
No, it was 4
or
by 5.
4 inches even by 5. So just a little bit smaller than this. But the idea is that if you do it right, these are going to
Here,
fit
it's right
on
here.
it
No,
just
no,
like that.
Right here, not on this guy. It's going to go on this guy.
Yes.
So on your foil piece. So if you cut a 4 by 5 champagne foil, then you can put everybody on here and you'll waste as little paper as possible
Yes.
for that foil. Then you would run it through your Big Shot, make your sandwich.
Yes.
There you go. Make your card.
All right. So
There's a bone folder over there for you too, so you don't get a paper cut.
I always fold this piece first just because it gets it out of the way.
Can I give you a tip? Will it
No.
annoy you? I'm going to give you a tip anyway. When you do use your bone folder, start in the middle and go out. Don't start on the end because it makes it fold crooked.
It's all right. When you give this to somebody, they're going to set it like that and it'll be fine.
It won't matter. You're right.
All right. So our layer, I'm going to call this the top and I'm going to stamp it upside down. Not really.
What are you doing?
I was just saying that just to see if they're paying attention out
I
there.
thought you were losing your mind there for a minute. You're not stamping upside down. You're just sponging anyway.
Nobody's joining us anyway right now, right?
Grab your ink.
Has anybody joined
Yeah.
us, Becca?
Nope, she'll let us know if somebody joins. I can see.
All right. So the first thing I did with this
Cindy, hey Cindy,
Blue
Cindy,
paper.
you do need a Big Shot. Cindy has. You need to have your
She
husband
doesn't have
call
that?
me.
So I use the brown one first and a sponge, and I like
early espresso.
I like sponging. We're gonna do basically a city scene, and we want the city to be on the ground, not in the sky. So essentially, all we're gonna do here is we're gonna use the brown ink, and we don't need to do too much in the middle because that's where it's gonna be going. But we know what we're gonna be able to see on the edges of it. So I just want a nice.
Let me get this out of there for you.
And then if you actually drag your sponge like this, you should start to see now it looks like waves, straight waves going across. So you can kind of curve this if you'd like.
You got waves on your road?
It will. This is the
So you're
sand, this
getting-
is the dunes.
So, I see. Dunes, gotcha. So you're
So-
getting some dimension.
So you get kind of a dimension with that. So that's good to go. And then we won't need this for a while. So we'll put that away. And then now we want to do our sky. And again, because we want this to be a night scene, obviously this sky is...
Say hi to Chris. Chris
Too
is
bright.
on too. You haven't met Chris yet.
I haven't met Chris.
No, she's from the Candy Gang
Oh.
down there in Niceville.
Well, keep watching, Chris. I'm very unorthodox and very not like Lisa Marie.
It's noisy.
So
You got plenty on there. It doesn't.
There's
look
not
like
really
it,
a lot on there.
No,
see,
there is.
See, there doesn't look like a lot, but Lisa Marie says
I'm
there is.
telling you, there is.
So I know that I'm going to put my star right in this corner here. So again, all I want to do is I want to give a little bit darker of this
Dapper Denim
sky on the card, because we don't want this bright blue. It's really too bright for sky, especially a night sky. So once you start to get some layers of how much you want, then the next thing you need to decide is how dark do you want it to be. So I know that my star is going to be here, and you kind of want to look glow, so I'm going to make sure that it's much darker around where the star is, because I want it to be very noticeable.
Did you show us the finished sample yet? Oh, I guess they saw that when the video came up, right?
Yes.
We're trying something new, so I was unaware. I don't know how it all works. Technical stuff.
So right now you can kind of see I got like a hole. That's where my star is going to be. And then just because I may not place the words like my original card is, and Becca can show you the original card real quick while I dab this. And then hopefully you all can see that card now. And then when she comes...
We can, look at that.
And then when you come back, so you'll see now that I've got a good blend of the blue and the brown on the card.
Can we get that for you?
I'm good right now. All right, so we actually need to add our city layers. And then I recommend that, you know, when you're doing this, that you do and have like your wife or you cut it out if you're the wife, and then have them ready so that you can put them on. But because we have some people that aren't
Big shot?
used to it, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to run the big shot. That way you can hear all the noises and see how easy this is to actually run. We're using the magnetic base. If it fits and slides through like that, you're good. Right about there is where I keep it.
Clear plate.
Do a clear plate, and then we're going to do the...
Nope, this way. There you go.
Then we're going to do the champagne.
And why did you turn it that way?
I thought we had to go with the length of it.
These long ones, you have to go this way.
Ah, that's right.
When you go, I'm going to say the wrong words, but if you go this way, it puts too much pressure on these long framelits, and you'll cause little stress fractures. So you want to go this way because it's hitting them all at the same time.
Correct. So now the big thing to remember is that when you're looking at these when you're looking at these on your paper, you're going to be looking and you're going to say, wow, that edge looks like it's, you know, like the tree edges here look like they're actually sticking off the paper. But keep in mind that the actual cutting edge on the thinlits is usually on the inside of this border.
It's tucked in, yeah.
So usually you've got almost the thickness of this thinlet of paper that you can have sticking out before you have to have any real problems. So I'm going to put the star in here.
Did you get it?
I'll get him in there.
I worked really hard to make that piece of paper work. I didn't want to waste any.
So
I flipped the fat side in, and that on the other side it worked.
if he
better.
doesn't fit on one side, I'll put him on the
There
other.
you go. And then you always got to finish your sandwich.
And then finish the sandwich. Now, this is what I do. I kind of go in like this so that I know that I'm not underneath one of the edges, and then line it up with my plate. And then the key is to come down quickly enough that you're holding everything in place, because sometimes with this magnetic base, these thinlits will move. The magnets are supposed to hold it so that it doesn't shift, but that doesn't always happen, especially if it's a thin thinlet or thin die, whatever you want to call the little metal plates. Some of them will they'll turn, and you've all had that. So now I push it in until the handle actually starts to go. When the handle starts moving, then I grab the handle and I finish.
And that noise is completely normal. That's because the plates are taking in some of the...
So, yes, that's normal, but here's the other thing. Hopefully you can see it on the edge here, but these plates are very curved and warpy, so they're flexing under there. So as they flex, they make noise. It's gonna happen. All right, so if I did this right, put that over there, you're gonna be able to pop out a star. You're gonna be able to pop out one half of the village. And usually you'll get lucky and these will actually stick in your thinlet. And you just poke them out with the pokey thing. You all know what I'm talking about, the little pokey thing. And you can do the same thing with this, just poking them out until you get it out. And then you do that with both sides. Big thing to remember with this set is that most of these windows that are in here are going to have to be pushed out. So make sure that you've got your pokey device with you so you can poke these all out. And then what I do, poke them out that way, flip it over, and then just run your hand over so that it breaks off the little tabs, and then that way it'll be out of your way. All right, and that's what you do with that one. So once they're all poked out and you have your pieces out of the way, you're gonna have your city pieces. And then I've got this piece of foam here, and this is something you can do. Some of these sets with this foil paper, I don't know if you can see like the little dot right here, and then there's a little dot here, and then this side has some of the dots. Well, this foil paper, it tends to take the impressions of the entire thinlet, and you can see in the thinlet how there's little dots, little air gaps kind of all the way around. Well, the pressures are so much and this foil paper is sensitive to it that it actually, shows that as an impression. So if you want to get rid of those, if you get your foam and your bone folder,
it's your paper piercing mat,
and then you just rub over them nice and soft like, and then usually you can get them to go pretty flat.
You're looking at the card and not showing what he's doing? No, it's on. Oh, there it goes. Oh, it had a delay and like it was...
Yeah.
No, it hasn't moved.
So if you take your time and you do it with the mat, you can actually rub out most of the dots.
So I wasn't paying attention, I'm sorry. Were you rubbing on the foil side
Yes,
or on the white side? Okay,
on the
so
foil
pushing
side.
that dot back in, right?
Yep. So, and you can do that.
I just accepted the dots as character.
Saying, if you go like this with your bone folder, it's going to show scratches.
Right.
So you want to kind of be careful. I always use just the flat side because it's rounded. And then you can just do it, and then you can use the point, especially for these trees.
Aren't you smart?
And just nice little...
Hi, Dana. Dana's watching, too.
Just like that. And then the palm trees become nice and straight. Like so. And so, because it's all impressionable like this...
So Becca and I are just going, holy cow, we didn't know how to do
So
that.
the other thing to do, I think if you look at that card, I don't know if I did it on all of them. No, I didn't. So
you're gonna.
So here you go. Before you do anything else with this piece, because this is the piece that's going to go in the back. It's got the most space. You want to cover up the dead space with the other city. So it's going to go like that. But we really want the palm trees, we're in the desert, to stick out. Piercing tool. And you just kind of scratch ever so slightly. And you kind of do it in
like little hash marks.
Little hash marks in a diagonal space. And you can do it as close as you want to each other. You just have to be careful because they're thin. And the idea is that when you get done...
Hey, Brenda. Brenda's watching.
It should look, or give you at least the feel, of an actual palm tree. I don't know if you can see the scoring on the tree or not. You see it a little bit? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and then especially on this one that's going to be on the front, we definitely want to see some bark on this one.
A little bit of detail, yeah.
And it didn't seem like much the first time I did it. I just wanted it to look like our palm trees that are on the street here at other people's houses because they look good. And that's all it takes, just a couple of little scratches. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It's like everything else that we do with Stampin'. It's going to be unique, and that's what you want. So we've got our card, and then this is the part now. Do we want it up high? Do we want it down low?
Well, not too high because then you won't have room for your star.
Right. So I'm gonna go about right here, and I mean we got a little bit of sandstorm coming up behind this building, but it's okay.
Are you gonna dimensional that one, or does he go flat?
This one I always do flat.
Okay.
The back one is flat. So we'll see if
Can you use some snail?
we're gonna use. You can use anything you want, just so long as it works.
Look at that silicone mat. Here, put this down, hon. Look, flip up. Because when you go over those holes, you're gonna get glue everywhere. If you lay your silicone mat down, then the glue will stick here.
Yeah.
And you missed a little guy right there.
Well, that's because the glue wasn't on there, but yeah.
I probably did. I'm the one who
did.
prepped that one, so I'm sure that it was me.
So, anyhow. So there's our first city. And I try to get them somewhat straight with the bottom of the card for all them people that freak out and they want straight lines and can't handle a little curve or a little dip in every once in a while. And so you got that there. Now the second piece, I'm going to use the dimensionals, and I'll put them on that side. I'm going to use the mini dimensionals, and
I like the minis.
The mini dimensionals give me the ability to put these up at the top of the building. I'll do that there so you can see where I'm going with these, because we really want. I don't want my palm trees, and I don't want the top of these buildings that are going to be in the front to sag behind, so that they're laying up against the building behind it. So I just kind of ensure that that doesn't happen.
Hey, Kayla. Kayla joined us too.
Welcome, Kayla.
I think Kayla's thinking about signing up.
So if you've got fingernails, you can pull these little dimensional guys off. Probably pretty easy. I chew mine. That doesn't happen, so I use the pokey thing. And I'll admit it, when it comes to dimensionals, this is probably the only part that I dislike, because I think it should come off a lot easier.
If it came off that easy, then they would always be falling off.
Yeah,
You would be sad then.
I'm willing to try being sad then.
Maybe you need an OT. Oh, you might need an occupational therapist to work with your fine motor skills there. Maybe that's the problem.
Maybe.
I know one.
So.
Now she's totally watching you and thinking you need some OT.
Yeah. I don't use.
You have that therapy I gave you?
I do. I
probably should be working with that.
I try not to work with small stuff because my hands shake a lot. So there we go.
Well, I could have plucked all those off for you.
There's another window that she missed.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
So here we go. This is kind of a big thing for me anyway. Line up the bottom of this city with the bottom of the first one. And then the idea then is that you're going to have a good flow. And you should have good dimension, good reflection going on in there. The white on the back should kind of reflect a little bit more light, and it should look pretty good. I think it does.
It does look good.
So now our star. And the star is pretty easy. You can use a big dimensional on him, or you can use a small one, whatever floats your boat on that one. We're not going to do a whole lot with him. We're going to peel it off. I like my star to be a happy star, kind of on an angle. I don't like it to be straight up and down.
A happy star.
Because that day the earth was kind of was rounded, and that's just the way it was. So I'm looking at this, and it's still kind of, I think it's too...
You need some more blue? Some more dapper denim?
I need some more blue.
Careful you'll get on that foil, because you'll get it on your fingers then.
So I'm just going to do a little bit more here. And don't worry, if you get it on your star and you get it on your fingers, guess what? That's Stampin'. It's already there. See? Brown, blue, I've got it there already.
Would you like a baby wipe?
No, because then I'll just be wet.
Gotcha.
All right.
All right, so now what's that going to go on? Crumb cake?
So that looks a little better. So now, because it's not, because I don't want the bright blue. That's the whole reason for stamping it with the dapper denim, was to get a night sky look, and we want to keep that. So now we've got the, I want the words. Go ahead and show the card real quick, Beck. You're going to see on the top right-hand side, there's some words there. And the words basically say, Star of Wonder, Star of Night. And that came out of that other stamp set that we showed up. That was the star. The night in Bethlehem is actually what it was in.
The words are not from Night in Bethlehem.
No, the words are not from Night in Bethlehem. But
the star is a framelit, babe.
Oh, the star was a thing. Where's it at? There it is. Right here on the bottom. Pretty stars. I watched her flip it back. So.
Oh, okay.
All right, so here's our crumb cake.
Early espresso ink.
I'm going to call this dark brown because I know that bothers her. Got my clear block. As you know, tap, 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 tap. Don't roll. Tap, 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 tap. Line it up through here. And when we get our Stamparatus, be able to do all kinds of nice things like this. Press and hold, and I've watched some of you ladies stamp, and see how I rolled it?
You did.
So I did that.
You're going to do that again. Just flip it over.
I am going to do it again.
Tries.
So
you might have a little glob of
tap,
ink
tap, tap.
on that stamp.
And then I'm going to do it again, and this time I'm going to press and hold, but I rocked it last time. I know I did, so
beautiful.
Notice how it looks much better.
Take that off for you.
Well, yeah, because what you didn't bring was my embossing powder.
We're not embossing, babe.
I embossed that.
No, we didn't.
I did.
That is not embossed.
It should have been.
It's not embossed.
It was supposed to be.
But you didn't.
Anyway, all the pretty cards I did, I embossed this. And basically, once you stamp it with this, throw it in your little plate, cover it with embossing powder, and then heat set it.
This ink is not embossable. So you used
I embossed
something.
it.
You had to use Versamark with it too. That's a whole nother. You have to be super quick then. So I mean, so please, that's a little disclaimer because this is not ink for embossing.
And yet I did it.
You had a very juicy pad.
And yet I did it. I'm just saying, I did it. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna just kind of flake off here. We just want to knock off the edges. Again, we just don't want that full color of the paper. And then kind of break it up. And then, there you go. And then with this one, we can do the dimensional as well.
I'll get it for you.
It was stuck. So, still got people on, or are they still watching?
I think so.
We'll get our, for all you procrastinators that are waiting to do your Christmas cards for family and everybody, this would be the time to do it. All right, so.
You gonna finish it up?
There's our layer. And then this is the easy part. We just flip it upside down.
I like it dimensional.
Take our snail. I just do a nice little box. And then again, I just kind of line this up a little bit.
Yeah, it's only 1/8 of an inch, so that one's kind of close.
Yeah, it's all good. I got ink on my finger.
I know you do.
All right, so there it is. There's the card. And then when it's all done,
you know, it would be cute.
You can stamp words in there for
hello,
hello,
Mary
whoever.
And Joseph in there, and that would be cute.
You
got
could.
the stamps over there. That would be cute in the early espresso. You could just stamp them right in there.
I could. Let's see, what do they look like?
Like Mary and Joseph.
I could put a freaking wise man or a shepherd in there too.
You gotta grab a block. I think she should have one down there by you. That big one will work. Just take the stamp off of it. So you're just gonna stick your stamp on the block and ink it up.
Or I can just tap it. Of course, it's sliding. That was.
Yeah, you didn't rock it. Just don't rock it and you'll be okay. No rocking.
All right. We got Joseph bringing it here. So I'm going to go on this side of the card.
Ta-da!
There we go.
I was going to give it for your hands. I was more worried about your fingers, so you're
Oh.
on your card.
If I did this, this is all I would do is wipe my hands, which that's why, yeah. See, you've got ink all over you, too.
I'm not touching a card, though, so it's okay if I have ink
all
all
right,
over
so
me.
there you go. And then, yeah, a little saying in there. You're good to go. The card is done.
There you go. That was a great card, Chuck.
And
Thanks for
then
sharing.
go ahead and show us the finished one again up
This
there.
one's better. This picture, it looks better here than it
Okay,
does
well.
on that picture. Yeah. Well, there you go.
So there you have it. That's the card tonight. And you know, if you liked what we did, then what I want to try doing is I want to just do a little Stampin' with me. Lisa Marie will be here, obviously, but it'll be the relaxed Stampin' with me. And I want to try using some of the sets that you guys have recently purchased. If we've got the set and you've recently purchased it, then I'm going to try to set aside some time on Saturdays, and we'll
Saturday or Sunday. Yeah.
Saturday or Sunday. But we're gonna use that set, and we're gonna stamp, and maybe we'll get something that you haven't seen, and it'll be some inspiration to you, and Stampin' with you, and then that way, if you've got any questions, you can even type it into your computer and say, "Hey, how'd you do that?"
Now, Cindy said it's a beautiful card, and you can show them. You got a couple other samples with that same stamp set if you want sitting over there. Not that one. That's the same.
It's identical.
Underneath the card.
Oh yeah.
Stamp set. There you go.
So that was. This was mostly, like I said, to highlight the thinlits because I like the thinlits and I wanted to go with those. So that's what that card was. Here's another one. Cutting out instead of foil paper, just cutting out with regular paper. It looks like the espresso again and vanilla.
Crumb cake and vanilla.
Yeah, crumb cake and vanilla. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, your Joseph and Mary, and there's your shepherd. And then a bossing.
Out of the bag.
Oh, was it too shiny?
The other ones, I'll do it for you.
And then this one is nice because you've got the oval around the city, so you still get that dimensional look. You probably could have popped these up and then put another dimensional under this layer. And this layer was done with a folder that's got the little stars on it.
An embossing.
And then the big embossed, or actually she used the gold glitter paper.
Yep.
So this is a pretty card. This one, this is like that little snow folder that you guys used. And the scalloped round behind it. And then the words, Blessed Christmas Wishes. What set did that come out of? Oh, that came out of the Night in Bethlehem.
Correct.
So there you go. That's words that you'll get with that set.
You're the only one that Rogue and you got from another set.
Yeah, I know.
This one has a boo-boo, but I'm still going to show it.
That's all right. This one
stuck something to it.
This one is nice. It was probably the star originally over there. This one, the idea is that you stamp your card all white, stamp the card with the city, stamp with Joseph and Marie, the shepherd, and then go back and run the white.
Joseph and Marie or Joseph and Mary?
Yeah, whatever. And then go through with the letters for your Noel and cut it out. Once you cut it out, then you use the either the minis or Lisa was using the foam strips.
Yes,
they're thick. They're a little bit thicker, and because they're going the whole length of the card, it supports it, so no one's going to squish it down on you. But you get a good dimensional about it. What do they call that? Eclipsing.
The eclipse technique, correct?
The eclipse technique. See, I learned something.
Listen.
I do every once in a while.
Well, excellent. You guys don't forget the end of year sale has been posted up on the website, and there are lots of things that are leaving from the holiday catalog, and there's a couple of things that are on sale. We posted a host code up there on the top of the screen.
Yes, the top of the screen. Is that this way?
What are you doing with that?
Or this way? There you go.
Way. Nice.
Nice. So. Don't be naughty, be nice, and then so this end of year sale. That's the sign that the holiday catalog is going to be gone.
It's
So
going to be ending. We're going to have new stuff in January.
There you go.
Get those out of there. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching.
Thank you. And then we're going to go to the card, show the card on the way out of the video. But post any more questions, and we'll fix it and answer them later. All right. Thanks for joining us.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Good night.